This week in Building Scarif, I built terrain, sand, and the beginnings of the bunker. Also, at the end of the video, there will be a footnote about where I've been recently. Now, on to the video. To start the video, I'm building up the mills plates in order to continue to create a solid foundation for the mock, which allows me to build structures or place minifigures on top. While doing this, I'm also prototyping how I'm going to be fitting the communications tower into the plates, because if I don't figure this out now, I would have to tear it all up and redo it after. To help me figure out what would work best, I'm using a few different techniques to try and achieve what I'm looking for. Let's go into the techniques I've been using so I can better explain my thought process. So the mills plates are now done, and I want to move on to terrain, but first we need to talk about this area. And this area is where the communications tower is going to go, and I'll throw up a picture on screen right now. As you can see, it's above the landing pad and it's on an angle, so that's what I'm trying to recreate. And I have a few different methods on how I want to recreate this, but none of them have worked so far. This is the current one, and as you can see, it's just slopes built on their side going around. And the problem is it has these little gaps and these notches in it, and that really makes things harder because it doesn't allow me to evenly just slot something in. This is the other prototype I have, and the problem with this is it doesn't exactly go on the angle I'm looking for, so we can't do this either. So what's next? Basically, I want to do wedge plates going around, so basically it'll have this angle, but it'll just be in plate form, and this will get rid of these notches in the bricks, and it will allow me to just slot in the communications tower once I build it, and it'll also allow me to determine scale, which is very important because I want it to be smaller than this. So now that I have a plan, let's get into it. Once I got everything figured out with the communications tower, I was able to start plating off the mock. One thing I was concerned about is there being too much exposed plate, which might make the mock look less finished, but I have a solution to try and fix that, which will be coming in the next update. Everything is now completely plated off. There's just one big issue. This communications tower. So obviously it's incomplete. There aren't the right colors or the right parts in some places, but so it slides right into there, and we could just plate it off at the bottom to get rid of that gap there. The one issue is it is too big, so I'm gonna have to turn this into a 3x3 and tear this whole section up and rebuild, because this is too big and I have to make the adjustments around this. Because I originally got the size of the communications tower wrong, I scaled it down from a 4x4 to a 3x3, which not only looked more proportionate, but more accurate to the picture. It also fits in the hole better. While scaling it down, I used the same technique because it worked well, and I also developed a prototype for the top, which I'll get into now. Now that we've rescaled and rearranged the base plates, everything is complete compared to the picture. So if we look at the picture again, it's a little thicker at the base and then has that slim top sloping out. And I think I really captured that wider base here. And this is my prototype for the slim top. As you can see, the technique I'm using is a 6x6 round plate, and I'm using brackets to get that correct spacing on the outside there. And I'm using this dome as the slope, which will be properly attached for the finale. So this is actually exactly what the final is going to look like, and this is going to be in light bluish gray. So now we're going to be working on terrain and the bunker itself, so let's get into it. With the base of both sections complete, I was now able to work on the terrain and blending the grass into the sand. This was a big challenge because it's been so long since I worked on that last grass patch, but I used it as a close reference, which really helped me. I also wanted to start using some different building techniques and pieces that might not be normally seen when building grass in Lego. I used a minifigure stand introduced in the DC minifigure series to angle a slope slightly steeper than the rest, and it lined up almost perfectly with a wedge brick. I also used 2 green flags and overlapped them to try and create some depth in the build, and overall I'm very pleased with how both sections came out, and this motivates me and excites me to continue working on the rest of the mock. I wanted to update you guys before we get on with some housekeeping stuff for the mock. So here are the 2 grass patches now almost fully complete. The only thing missing is this little section here, which will be done in the next update, and I'm very pleased with how these came out. I think they matched the original idea here very nicely. And the other thing I did was I tiled off this with dark tan instead of light tan because I wanted it to match the wet sand on the shore better. Also, I wanted to ask you guys, this is 1 plate lower than the rest of the mock, so I was wondering if you guys would rather me raise this by a plate or elevate it on the plate in order to match this. I'm totally fine with either. Just let me know down in the comment section, and we'll work on that next update. So now that we got that covered, let's move on to the rest of the video. I'm now going to be working on a few housekeeping things throughout the mock, like adding and almost completing the communication center outside of the bunker. I had a lot of fun with this because it was simple and I allowed myself to enjoy the easier builds this week because next week is going to be very building intensive. Once the communication center was completed, I shifted my focus to the landing pad where I started to add the sand details around the edges. This will be continued in the next update, but I wanted to give myself a solid foundation so I can give myself a sense of direction. The last thing that I worked on was the floor of the bunker. I have a lot of ideas for what the inside of the bunker is going to look like, so I put snot bricks where I already know I want details on the interior, so I won't have to redo anything like I did with the communications tower. And with everything built and completed, I decided to put together the whole mock as it was for the first time. And let me tell you, it looks amazing. It felt really good to snap together the plates for the first time, and once everything was in place, I saw a result I was proud of. But it's not finished yet, so let's take a look at the progress made so far. This is Scarif. Or like 70% of Scarif. There's still so much work to be done on the mock, but I'm going to finish the entire mock in the next update so I don't have to worry about it in school and leave you guys hanging. I know it might not look like much, but I laid out the foundations to finish building everything in the next update, so I'm excited to share the finished product with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of the support on the videos, and we hit 100 subscribers a few days ago. I couldn't be happier with how everything on the channel is going right now. Thank you genuinely from the bottom of my heart for supporting me. It truly means so much. Finally, I wanted to put a little footnote at the end of the video to explain my absence from making actual videos. I've been going through a lot in my personal life and I've been taking a break from everything so I could take time to focus on my needs. One of my next videos will be related to emotions to help me move past this tough time. As I regain motivation, videos will start to come out more frequently because YouTube has been one of the things helping me get through this rough patch. I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone who has viewed my shorts and stuck with me throughout my absence, and everyone who has continually supported me. I never thought almost 100 people would want to subscribe to this channel, and I'm doing it because I love producing the content for you guys, so thank you from the bottom of my heart for your continued support. As always, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.